Hi, happy Easter, if you're celebrating that kind of thing. I have revisited over the Easter break a couple of great works of art. One is a Leonard Cohen song. One is the film Top Gun, which I loved. I love. They've both been haunting me in a way. Leonard Cohen and Tom Cruise. Very, very different people. I am a man of many contradictions. But somehow at Easter, I don't know, this film and that song and Easter and thinking about Jesus and that story, what it means for me and how to live, it's all kind of bubbling around together. And another song which I'll start with is not Leonard Cohen, but I also love it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, Jesus was a sailor, and he walked upon the water. He spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, let all men be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the sky would open. Forsaken, almost human, he sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. And you want to travel with him, you want to travel blind, and you think that you'll trust him 'cause he's touched your perfect body with his mind. Through many dangers, toils and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace that leads will lead me home. So Jesus was a sailor, and he walked upon the water, and he spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, let all men be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the skies would open. Forsaken, almost human, he sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. Oh, Leonard, oh, Leonard, what beautiful writing. Jesus, the story of Jesus haunts me. And here we are at Easter, and I think about the theme of drowning, like only drowning men can see. There's something in that that's so profound that my mind sort of boggles and tries to grasp at. Jesus willingly drowned, went to the cross. There he is. Word is spread. He's hailed by many as the Messiah, the one who'll save us from all the world's ills. The movement is growing. He's famous, becoming famous. He could have been a cult leader. He could have amassed power. He could have fought the revolution, right? Torn down the system. But when they come to get him, and his disciples pull out their swords, he says, no, put down your sword. And this crazy plan unfolds where he breaks the cycle of violence and does something so amazing it sticks with a huge portion of the human world for, well, centuries since. And those disciples were ready to, the world, his followers, so many of them, they'd be ready to do violence because he's the savior, right? They'd get in their F-14 Tomcats. That's the fighter jet, if you're not a geek like me, in the Top Gun movie. And they'd just get in those F-14 and they'd just bomb the hell out of the pharaohs and the money men and the authorities. And he says, no, get down from your F-14 Tomcats. No, it's not the way. Let me show you something. Yeah. So there I was watching Top Gun, and not with the sort of, when I first watched it when it came out years ago, I was a young fella and I watched it as a kind of guilty pleasure, and I had a sense of superiority about me as I watched. Oh, look at those macho, right-wing patriotic stuff that I thought was so silly and immature. And I watch it differently now. I appreciate the passion in it and the heart, and I see that it's a story. It's the same story that the world's been telling. It's the foundational story. These fighter pilot jocks with their ego and their toughness and their masks, they find each other somehow. The human spirit comes through. I'm genuinely touched by it now. Isn't that weird? Maybe it's because I have a family now and I notice my own potential, the violence that I would do to protect them. I now extend that, and I get that. What do we fight for? And as a young fellow, I used to think, what was that thing that used to go around, still does, it's like the military budget that funds, that is required to maintain those F-14 Tomcats is, could feed the world. And that's what I would spout at parties as a young fellow. And I still see that. I see the tragedy of that vast military industrial complex. It's tragic and it's awful, and the war in Ukraine is going on while I'm sitting there in my comfy lounge watching this fantasy Top Gun movie. So I get it. It's tragic, but I don't know. I also, when Australia announced it was getting some nuclear submarines, man, a few decades ago I would have rolled my eyes and gone, how awful. Now I kind of secretly went, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I wonder if they'll be built in time to stop the next insane megalomaniac invading our country. So there's just something about the human story, then this cycle of violence that's hard to break. And here we are at Easter, and there's the possibility again, the story in the Christian story, and I know it's not exclusive to Christianity, but it's part of my roots, and hell, it's Easter time, so that this is the lens I'm looking through. Here we are again, reminded that maybe the way out isn't by rising up and making the revolution and forcing our utopian vision on someone. Maybe the way out is downward through. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to grasp it, and it's hard to grasp. But there's something in it. And so, was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Happy Easter.